You see, when we hear the name Pharaoh, the first place that comes to our mind is Egypt. When we hear the name hieroglyphs, the first thing that also comes to our mind is Egypt. But I must confess to us, we have been lied to. First, the Africans never used the name Pharaoh. What we are calling Pharaoh today was called the Nusibiti, and it means a king or a monarch. Now, did you also know that it was discovered that 12 black African men ruled as Pharaoh for at least 200 years in a place in Sudan named Tarseti before even the first Pharaoh appeared in Egypt? If this is the first time you're coming to my page, Ebenezer Heru, congratulations to you. You are highly welcome to the school of your untold African history. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for free at Ebenezer Heru. You see, it was also discovered that the writing system, which is the first writing system before the Sumerians, which the Egyptians called the Medu Nature, but was called the hieroglyphs by the Europeans, was first developed by the people of Tarseti in Sudan for over 200 years before even the Egyptians started living in Egypt. We know that the Africans brought all their ideas from every corner of Africa to build the Egyptian civilization. And the civilization of ancient Egypt was the work of not one group of Africans, but the coming together of Africans from every nook and cranny of Africa. When the people in Egypt today are saying that they are Egyptians, you as an African that has done voracious studies must let them know that they are not the original Egyptians, but invaders. Let them know that it was their Arab ancestors who invaded our African ancestors around December 639 AD to 641 AD during the 7th century AD. Let them know that before they invaded our African ancestors, that the Hyksos from Asia around 1675 BCE were in Egypt for over 108 years. Let them know that before they came, that the Greeks under Alexander the Great were here around 332 BCE for over 300 years. Let them know that even Alexander the Great loved the African Egyptian culture, that he decided to plot his way to become a pharaoh in Egypt, and even involved himself in the African spiritual system and became a servant of Amen-Ra, the almighty African Egyptian sun god. Let them know that the Romans were in Egypt around 30 BCE for over 600 years. Let the current Egyptians know that the original African Egyptians were very melanated and black, and they named their land based on the color of their skin. Tell them that the name is not Egypt, but Kemet, and it means the land of the blacks, because the indigenous people of the land were very black. This teaching is very vital and imperative, because our children yet unborn must know their ancestral roots. When the Africans were building the Egyptian civilization, there was no European country in existence. All the pyramids were built from the 3rd, 4th to the 5th dynasty, and no European was known in history until 833 BCE. Why did I say so? I said so because in history, a people are known only when they started writing. And the first person to write a book in Europe was Homer, who wrote the first 2 books of Europe, titled the Iliad and the Odyssey, in the year 833 BCE. Meanwhile, the first human pharaoh of Egypt was Nama. He ruled Egypt around 3100 BCE, and Rome or Greece were not known in history. The first medical doctor was Imhotep, who cured over 200 diseases, including tuberculosis and arthritis, and no European was known in history. The 3 great pyramids built behind the Sphinx, the Khufu, the Kaffa, and the Menkaure pyramid, were built over 2,700 years ago, and the story of Adam and Eve, Jesus, or any biblical character were not known in history. We are the only people who don't know anything about our past. How can we solve our today's problem and predict our tomorrow when we know nothing of our yesterday? We keep trying to solve our today's problems using the solutions of the invaders, and you think we will succeed. Let me tell you something that the colonial masters and invaders will never tell our African leaders. African problems can only be solved with African indigenous solutions. And until we start to look back, embrace our spirituality, and give back the religion of the colonial masters, we will remain stagnant, waiting for the colonizers to save us. If we truly want to solve our African problems, then the following books will help to expose African solutions and shape our mind to know more about our untold African history and our ancestors. We have The African Origin of Electricity, The Untold History of the Black Race, The African Origin of Civilization, The African Black Woman in Antiquity, They Came Before Columbus. We have Stolen Legacy, The Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Papyrus of Ani, and many more that will open your eyes to see the solutions to African problems. If you are interested to buy and also build your mind to solve our African problems, then you have to DM me or send a message to my inbox requesting that you want to buy your own copy of any of the books. Remember, the books are all in soft copy PDF.